Underdogs just released, and so far this is instantly one of my favorite games already to come out this year. It's essentially Real Steel, Pacific Rim, and Hades all in one. The game puts you inside a cyberpunk-like world, and a phrase that fits the setting perfectly is get rich or die trying. First, I'll talk about the game, my review of the game after finishing it, and one big flaw that it has. And yes, that flaw is performance, as unfortunately the game does utilize application space warp in the standalone version. Application space warp isn't horrible, but given I haven't played a game yet where its flaws haven't been apparent, this is another one in the books, and by far the hardest enemy I have encountered in the game was the game dropping to PowerPoint slide frame rates for what works and what doesn't. And I will mention some spoilers, so yeah. But to start off, Underdogs is a game where everyone is fighting for scraps to get by, and you get into mech fighting to hustle your way to the top, starting from the junkyard and into the glorious city of New Braca with your brother. You earn fame, money, mech upgrades, and notoriety as you progress through the game, meeting different personalities that assist you in your journey to become the champion in the city. Some of the contacts you meet and help you along your journey are trustworthy, some are weird, and some are really shady as you gamble your fortune for potential upgrades, repairing your mech, or scavenging for parts. The game has 3 major sections that are cut up as you make your way up to the boss, and between levels you're giving the morning, evening, noon, and fight day, so you're given time to prepare before each battle. The arenas you fight in are very much gladiator-like. Enemies come in waves through gates, and you try to survive all of it with minimal damage to your mech. Each run is entirely different from the last, as the game is all RNG, and damage that you sustain from that arena is carried over to the next one. And since the game is all RNG, your variability of success is very different from every other run. For instance, you can buy stuff from vendors in the game, but you can also steal from them with a 60% chance of getting caught, or take mechanics in the game that repair your mech back into shape. Some of the people you meet do the jobs well, and some, if you rely on them too much, have a chance of damaging your mech even further. Unlike other roguelites in VR, every stat, part, add-on, quirk, and buff is crucial. Through your run, you try to equip your mech with upgrades that fit your build, whether that's prioritizing a punching build, elusive build, prioritizing locomotion, being able to move as fast as you can, stun or shock build. Combining all of these features with your setup is the difference between you making it out of your run alive. The game is relatively short. I finished the game in just 2 hours and 29 minutes. I'm kind of a gamer, and I play a lot of roguelites, and my first run ended in just 45 minutes. Then on my second run, I kind of understood the assignment, then completed the game in 1 hour and 44 minutes. But I do think for others, the game should be longer if you're new to the genre or aren't used to swinging your arms like a madman. I was looking forward to this game, but it left me impressed as the developers won Hamza. Their last title was Racket NX, a title that I got but never played for more than 20 minutes. Underdogs is such a huge step for them as a studio, but also for the entire genre of roguelites in VR. The game is impressive in so many qualities, and on top, it's a game that gets you instantly hooked to play more and more. With over 100 plus items and power tools to unlock, there is so much to do, and every run has me one-upping my last run. This game requires a lot of physical movement. As a fan of Saber Beater and other roguelites like Hellsweeper, flailing my arms like a baby chicken with hopes of flying, this game is incredibly engaging. You will break a sweat and burn through calories. Underdogs unintentionally turns into some of the most engaging and fun workout games. This is one of my favorite games to release as of recently, but it has one big asterisk, that is performance. If you noticed, I bought the game on the Quest store, so it's the standalone version. It utilizes application space warp, having the frame rate, instead of running the game at 90 Hz, it does so at 45 Hz, and you do feel it. The interesting part is that the menus run at 75 Hz. Booting up the game, I did so without any FPS metric or overlay, and I didn't think out of all the games, this would be the one to utilize application space warp. Later in the game, when it starts to introduce more enemies and you defeat the first boss, you start to enter Stutter City. Look, application space warp is not bad, but it really depends on the type of game that it is and its movement. For instance, Grid Legends and Lego Brick Tales are a great implementation, as application space warp shines when the game requires little to no head movement at all. However, in games that are action-packed, intense, and require all sorts of movement from the user, that's when the boat sails for me. I completed the game in just 2 hours and 30 minutes. The game just can't can't keep up at times when there are more than 3 to 4 enemies, and that can rack up all the way to 7 or 6. Performance in the later levels is really unreliable as it turns into a PowerPoint slide. In this game, in my opinion, it was a poor choice to implement application space warp since artifacting is really prevalent once you get into the action, and this game relies on you being able to dodge, move, react instantly. You know, it's the difference between you surviving, and that's how I lost in my first run. I did my playthrough entirely on quest 3, but gave a look at quest 2 as well. At a quick glance, the only difference is resolution. On both platforms, the difference is negligible and pretty much on par with one another. Even on quest 3, it's not as great resolution wise. One thing the game really utilizes is both physics and visual effects. Optimization is not the best for the game currently. I do see the devs bringing performance patches through maybe a stronger use of fixed foveated rendering. In both recordings, I recorded at 1440p. So inside the headset, it's a stutterfest, but the footage does depict how it actually looks playing the game without recording. And yeah, priced at $30, that's kind of the default price tag for all VR games. It's not bad. Personally, a price tag of $20 or $25 would have suited the game way better, as it relies on the roguelike feature to make up for the long and in-depth content. Underdogs is a really fun and unique take on the current genre of VR roguelikes. The game has a lot of charm with the art style and storytelling. The devs did an amazing job on the atmosphere, art, cinematics, and art design to show the vicious and dark world of New Braca. Currently, there are only 2 game modes, the normal roguelike story mode and the skirmish mode where you just battle it out. Underdogs is a game that I would highly recommend, and the only thing holding it back is the performance hiccups. And once that gets sorted out, this game is an instant buy. This game makes you utilize your entire play space, and I've plunged my wall at least a dozen times, and I continue to play in agony. And I haven't done so in a long time, at least since I first got into VR. But yeah, that's it. Leave a like and subscribe for more content. Until the next video, see ya.